When you live in a small town, everyone knows where you've been and what you have done. I've been trying to leave this old town since I...
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Zada.
And I'm Kelly. And you're listening to
Two Sides and the Truth.
Okay, it's time to catch up.
It is.
So Kelly and I decided to do things a little different this episode. So on the catching up, she has absolutely no idea what I'm going to say, which oftentimes that's the case.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
But you kind of have an idea because we're friends.
Yeah.
And I tell you.
Sometimes.
But I don't think you have any idea what happened this weekend.
No, I don't.
Okay, get ready. Well, unless you follow my social media, and then there's clues.
Yeah, there's clues.
So Zoe's friend, best friend, texted Zoe this weekend and said, "I don't know what your mom's doing, but she is definitely living her best life."
Yeah, you were.
And I found it really funny. And okay, so I just thought of a story that's really funny. Hang on, I'm gonna write it down as we're recording so I don't forget it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, damn it. I need the pen to work. Okay, so catching up. This weekend, Rick and I decided that we're going to go to San Saba because my sister-in-law, Bonnie, whom I love, she's had my brother's things since he passed 2.5 years ago. And Emma graduated, the younger of the two. And so they're kind of settled in their homes. And so we basically went to get my brother's things from Bonnie. And so I was just going to make a day of it. Just going to travel down there Sunday, help them. They invited me to come in and kind of like help out and just kind of be there. Mm-hmm. And I really try to be present for anything my brother would be present for. That's my mindset, is that I can't replace my brother, but I need to make sure they always know that their dad is part of their life, and I'm the closest thing you got.
Yeah.
So they invited me. I was like, absolutely, I'll be there. So I was going to go just for the day because I've been traveling so much on the weekends, especially there. And then Rick's like, let's just go for the weekend, just the two of us. Let's just do something else while we're there.
Just the two of us.
Yeah, and we don't really get to do that anymore. Like, since he moved in, we're kind of married couple-ish.
Yeah.
You know? So I was like, okay. And his daughter spends a lot of time with us, which I love. I'm really glad we're close to her, but it's nice to have occasional time alone.
Yeah.
So we go down Friday night, and we stop to eat on the way there and have a lovely dinner. And then we get there and go straight to bed because we both got up early that morning. And we stay at the cabin. And my back has, been a problem since I fell off the porch. Yeah. I got this stupid ass knot in my back I can't get rid of. Yeah. And I've been trying everything. And so my bed, I've gotten to the point now that I sleep relatively well in my bed. I have a really good mattress. That mattress, which I've always loved, is the devil right now. And so I really didn't sleep well at all Friday night. And you know how but they don't. The cabin doesn't have any curtains, because it's in the middle of nowhere, so you don't need curtains.
Yeah.
And so normally it's so dark outside that when you're laying in bed, you can't see anything outside unless somebody's left the back porch light on from the back bedroom where I sleep. And nobody left the back porch on, but the moon was so bright, I could see everything. I'm talking down to individual leaves. And I sleep usually on the side that faces the main two big windows overlooking the backyard and the river. And it's freaking scary. And so I'm laying there and I'm like, this is creepy. If I see a freaking skinwalker, I'm going to lose my shit. If I saw a deer, I'd lose my shit at this point, So I'm waking up all night. I just am not sleeping really good. I'm just doing my best. So we make it up. We get up the next morning, and we both are early morning people. So we get up at the crack of dawn, and we decide we're going to Castile, Texas. So if anyone in Texas wants just a nice little day at the river, but not like the Guadalupe, because for those that don't live here, the Guadalupe and the Comal are the most traveled tubing rivers in Texas, really. The most popular rivers in Texas, wouldn't you say? And they're packed, and they're packed with college kids and just partiers, and that's just not really my thing. And so, but the Castile is the Llano River, and it is beautiful and serene and quiet. And my family does reunions there, once every few years. For about 15 years we go. We've gone quite a few times. And so we love it there. And so Rick called them, and the people that we rent, usually we rent a camping spot, and said, do you have day swimming Like, we just want to come swim on your property because it's a good location. And there's a free location and it's cool, but we know this location. So they're like, yeah, $5 a person.
Bet.
Come swim all day. So we're like, awesome. So we pack up and we pack food and we pack, drinks, whatever. And we get out there. Well, no. Rick says I have other stuff I have to do first. I don't know what he means. I'm like, all right, I figure it has something to do with deer. I don't know.
Probably a safe bet.
It was a safe bet. So what he wanted to do was stop at the ranch that my brother and Bonnie had and fill the feeders. My brother's horse is an escape artist, and Cat Daddy is with, the other horses, with our horses, and he doesn't jump fences. He likes to literally run through them. So that means he destroys them. So then the other horses also escape. They're like, oh, we can do that? Let's go. So all the horses had been getting out. So he had to mend a fence. He had to fill the feeders. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. I never got out of the passenger side.
He was doing some manly things.
I made an Instagram post that was like Chronicles of Passenger Side.
I did see that.
I didn't get out of
was
the car for 3 hours as he did shit. I had a great time. It was awesome. I had snacks. I watched a cowboy work on shit. I could see him. It was awesome. So I pet the horses from the truck. So we did that, and he did all the things that he needed to do and rounded up the horses and all this good stuff. So we did that for 2 hours, and then we stopped in Llano and ran into my sister-in-law. No, we didn't run her yet. We went through Llano, and then we went to Castile, and we swam all day. And let me tell you, this is a campground, and they have where you can have RVs and primitive camps, so you can have tents, whatever you want to. But the only ones being used that weekend for some reason, or last weekend, was a few RVs. So there was maybe 6 RVs on the other end of the camp, but the primitive side had nobody.
Wow.
So we rented $5 a person, $10 for the two of us. And we spent all day by ourselves on this private beach swimming in a crystal clear, beautiful water in Texas. And the beach was shaded, which is really hard to find. So if you got out of the water, you were still not hot in Texas, which was crazy.
That sounds perfect.
And so Rick has this really small grill, and it looks like an adult, like if you know the barrel grills, the old school grills, which is what he uses. He found a miniature one, and it's only 6 inches tall. And he put that shit on the beach, and at one point he was grilling a steak as he sat in the river. We are living our best lives. Okay. And so we are just chilled out, just the two of us. And we spent the whole day together swimming and just chilling. And I tried your idea with the floaty.
Oh, did you?
I did.
How'd it work?
I can't float the way the picture was. In the picture, she was vertical.
Yeah.
No, who the fuck body doesn't float when you relax? If you relax, your body doesn't stay vertical.
Yeah.
Your body pops up.
Yeah.
So I bought I actually had one at the cabin and I forgot it. So we stopped at the dollar store and we got me, a whatchamacallit, a tube. And I put it behind my neck, just behind my neck, and the rest of my body, including my arms and shoulders, were not attached to it, and I did not rest on it. And I just floated with my neck resting on there. And oh my God, I fell asleep floating in the river. And I told Rick, I was like, just don't let me float away and grab my toe if I do. Just pull me back. And he did. He kept me, he would. I would start to float away, and he would just pull me back, and I'd wake up for a second and go right back to sleep. It was awesome. And we did this for hours, and we grilled and we ate steak. He grilled steak and zucchini. Who does that? It was awesome. And we just had a really chill day, and then we left there, and we were full from the steak when we left there, and we went back through Llano. And Llano, Texas is very well known for Cooper's Barbecue, which is a very famous barbecue place in Texas. Literally, there's songs about Cooper's Barbecue. Josh Abbott has a song about it. And how you're not from Texas unless you've eaten in Llano, Texas at Cooper's Barbecue. It's part of the song. And so we stopped at Cooper's and we got some barbecue, but we weren't hungry yet. We just wanted to take it back. Yeah. I didn't cook one time this whole weekend. And we went back and we ate it once we got back, which took a while because we, kept stopping and doing stuff, whatever, on the way. So we get back and eat our dinner, and I take a warm bath in the tub with an Epsom salt bath. I stopped and got Epsom salt and took an Epsom salt bath, and he was asleep by the time that I got in there. And then another restless night of shitty sleep and worried about skinwalkers. But other than that, great. And who would have thought a bright moon was going to scare the shit out of me? I was like, a skinwalker is going to walk by any minute.
Not any second.
Any minute. And what am I going to do? So we got up on Sunday, and then what did we do Sunday? I felt like we did. Then we went Sunday, and I helped my nieces, and it was really cool. And we found shit I didn't know my brother had, because he sucked at keeping shit. Like, he lost every home movie we had.
Oh gosh.
He lost my grandfather's saddle, which was like the thing my mom wanted most when her father died, and he lost it. And my mom was still alive, and she was pissed. I think it moved him down to second place in favorite kids. And so he's really bad at shit. So when Bonnie starts pulling out shit none of us knew he owned, I was like, this is awesome. This is great. So the girls got all their dad's stuff, which was awesome, and it went really great. And Bonnie was awesome. And then we headed home, and I just had a really good, nice, relaxing weekend. But, I always collect rocks for my mom's grave. So those that don't always listen, I am trying to fill my mom's grave with rocks from all these cool places that all these people that I love and that love me have visited. So if you, and listeners, you're welcome to do this too. You find a rock, you can mail it to me, okay? I'll take it. And
take all the rocks.
I want rocks from all over the place. I want her to be part of all these wonderful still memories and people thinking of her. And so I have all these cool rocks and shells and everything. So when I'm at Atlanta, there is a lot of extra special memories with my mom and my brother at this particular river in Castile. So I'm collecting, and there's beautiful rocks. They're beautiful. And so I'm collecting all these rocks. And so Rick says, don't you have enough rocks? Like, give me a hard time. And then he looks over, he goes, did you see this rock? Look at that rock right there. It's a really good rock. One. So he picks it up, and it has a hole in it, right? And I'll show it to you after the podcast. And he goes, this would make a great necklace for you. I'm like, yes, it would. Yeah. So he brings the rock home, and he has been polishing it for 4 days. He just finished it last night. And he researched online what you need to do, and you have to put like castor oil on it. And then he engraved a Z on the front of it. And then he got a piece of leather, and he made me the chain out of leather. And he was like, he made me try it on to get the right length that I wanted.
That's so cute.
It was, he's such an asshole when he does nice things. And I told him, I was like, I love this as much as my engagement ring. Like, this is so special and so me, and I will wear it, especially with a cowboy hat. It's going to look badass. So that's my rock song, right?
That's so cool.
Yeah. So that is.
You had an amazing weekend.
I did have an amazing
Once
weekend.
again, you're holding up the fort here because.
Well, it's summer. This is my prime.
It is. I wish
it's
were
hard
mine.
to compete with me in the summer. I'm not going to lie.
It is. Summers are hard for me because I always go full time in summer.
Yeah.
And so it's like. But
I'm trying to do the opposite in the summer.
It's all taken up. And then on the weekends, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need to recoup. I need to be able to sleep in. The most exciting thing that I did this weekend is that Dante got me an inversion table.
I just told Rick last night I would kill for an inversion table right now. I'm going to come over and try it.
You should. I was very excited. I love that man. I'm so happy.
Do you love it? Are you like just laying upside down all the time?
Well, you're supposed to like baby step yourself into it. Like, so for the first couple of times, you're only supposed to do like 30 seconds.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And then you work yourself up to a couple minutes, and then you can go, to up to 5 minutes or something like that. But you're supposed to work your way up to get your body used to it. But I do love it. And on it has like points on it that like little nodules up it. So like whenever you turn, upside down, it like hits pressure points in your back too.
Right.
So it's like a massage almost because it hits pressure points. It's amazing. I absolutely love it.
So what's its name? I would name it.
I know, right?
Devontae. It sounds like a Devontae.
I was thinking
he's hitting pressure points. That's a Devontae.
Devontae.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, sure.
Ask Dante. They're brothers.
Yeah. He'll probably be like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. We're going with Wayne, honey. Charlotte.
But yeah, I was very excited about that, and because I have a lot of back problems, and obviously part of it's getting old, part of it's like
You've been
because I did too much stuff, too many cartwheels and handstands and backflips and like this and that and the other.
I think mine is partially related to the cartwheels I was doing just like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
The
ones that you did.
I kicked ass, y'all. I will challenge anyone to.
Some good cartwheels.
I kicked Melindy's ass. Yeah.
And you were a little impaired as well.
And I still kicked her ass. Yeah. She didn't see it coming.
I was like, I'm not getting in this because I know that
I challenged everybody. Who wants to compete? And Melinda is the only one that took it.
I will break something or someone else, or I don't know.
If I can do anything, it's nail a cartwheel.
Yeah.
I don't know about now. I haven't tried. I'm pretty chunky.
I can do cartwheels. I can still do it, and because the kid every now and then the kids will ask me if I can do something because I don't do a lot at work because I've learned my lesson.
Yes, well, yes.
I break things.
Yeah, yes,
but they think that it's very cool to ask me, oh, Miss Kelly, can you do a cartwheel? And I'll do a cartwheel for them, or I'll do a handstand for them, or something like that. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I used to do it for my employees. I was like, if y'all do this today, I'll do a cartwheel. And they loved it so much.
Y'all want to see a cool party trick?
I'll show you. And I was so old, they were like, awesome. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. You're welcome. I think it's because I'm thick too. They don't see it coming.
Yeah, they're like, there's no way.
Old and thick. They're like,
I'm about to defy gravity.
Yeah.
You just watch.
Yeah,
you have no idea.
See, I nail it. I'm like a 10. It's the only thing I ever did really well with cartwheels.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Anything else about the inversion table?
That was the highlight for sure. I had a very chill weekend. Dante had to work, and I've missed the past couple of Sundays, and I haven't been singing at church, but this past Sunday I did, so it was really nice getting back into that. But.
We need to. We'll just do. I meant to bring this up before we start recording, but let's just hash this out now. Next week, Al and I are not recording because he's out of town. I am going to be out of town a good portion of the week, not the whole week. Are we going to record next week? Because we might want to let listeners know. There may or may not be an episode next week. It's July 4th.
Yeah, because that's a kind of a crazy week.
It is kind of a crazy week, and I'm off Thursday, and I come back Monday, and we are leaving town probably Friday. But I'm guessing Monday Thursday is July 4th itself. We're not going to record on July 4th. Well, we're going to see. No promises.
We'll try, but
There's no promises. So if you don't get one, you don't get one.
Sorry. We'll try our best, though.
I know.
Hey, Zada, you know what time it is?
What time is it, Kelly?
It's time to pop the top
On the topic of the day.
All right, so the topic of this week is the random text that I got from Zada all this weekend of things. Of things to remember, because she always sends me messages so that she doesn't forget things that she wants to tell me about and things that she wants to talk about. So then when we see each other, she's like, okay, tell me. And so I run through, okay, this, and it's usually just either one word or two words. And I'm like, this, so it's very random and I have no idea where it's actually going to go. And I'm just like, okay, this. And she's like, oh yeah. And then she goes off and tells me.
Because I will completely forget all of it.
Yeah, until I give you the magic word.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh yeah. And so that's literally what we're about to do. I'm going to go through everything that she sent me a message about, and she's going to tell us about it.
Yeah. And I think it's funny too how I send the message, what it says, because I always think as I'm sending it, she's got to think this is fucking stupid. But I mean, it's the only way I'm going to remember it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And the very first thing, starting off strong, cocaine straw.
Okay, y'all. Oh, add mug to that. I didn't text you mug, but add mug. Okay, so I don't know what to do with my pen. It's right there. Anyway, so I got a story this weekend, and it's a family member told me this story, and I'm not going to mention what side of my family, but I had this conversation on the phone with a family member, and we were talking about another family member and just kind of laughing at some stories. And this particular, okay, first off, don't judge us.
Too late.
Get ready. When I tell everybody that in my family, I am the lamest, most boring one.
It's sad. Sadly, it's true.
Yeah. So I'm talking to my family member on the phone, and we are hashing out funny stories. And this one I had never heard. I did not know this story. And so I'm like, well, tell me. They're telling me the story. I'm like, what? And that's when I was like, I got to text Kelly right now and tell her cocaine straw. So my family member is telling me a story. I am the boring member of the family. I am not fun. I am not exciting. I am lame as shit in my family, both sides. Okay. So I try to tell people that, and no one ever believes me. And so I'm like, I'm so boring. And so my family member is telling me of this story and about how when they were when I say family member, this is a friend of the family. They're not an actual family member, but they know a lot of my family. And so they're telling me this story about 25 years ago. So this is an old story. And longer than that, maybe 27, 28 years ago. And so this particular family member is like 15. And their mom is, I keep saying family member and she's not, but this person is like 15. And their mom is a lot. And their mom is more than even my family is. And she might have been in the business of selling things. Mm-hmm. And certain things. And in the process, she didn't make good decisions. And so she was hanging out with 2 members of my family all the time and her child, who was like 15 or 16 at the time. And they were doing things they shouldn't be doing, and one of which would be cocaine. And so she does a line of cocaine. She puts out 4 lines, one for her, one for her 15, 16-year-old child, and one for my 2 members of my family. And and she said, and it had the good stuff in it. Y'all, I don't know what the good stuff is. I don't know what that means. I just acted like I knew what they were talking about, but I don't know because I never did cocaine or apparently the good stuff. And so I was like, oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know what the good stuff is. Okay. So don't ask questions. And so I'm like, yeah. And they were like, yeah. So we all do a line. And what her mom would do is her mom would, give you the first line. But if you wanted another one, you had to pay for it, including her daughter. So they didn't have the money for another line. So she says at one point, her mom is like, I don't know, fucked up, and is like sitting in the chair next to this little end table that has a drawer, and that is where she keeps the excess coke and good stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to guess it's some kind of meth, but I don't know. And then next to her is her daughter, who's telling me the story, and they're spaced out, like they're jacked up, right? But when she got jacked up, she left the drawer open. Right? So she's like, I could tell there was commotions going on behind me, but I was jacked up, so I didn't really know what was going on behind me.
Didn't really care, just kind of riding away.
There's just something back there. So she was like, so finally I after a while, look back there, and your 2 family members are back there building the longest straw you've ever seen. And they have found, I don't know where they found the straws, but she was like, they kept connecting straws. She was like, they're taking straws and putting one, they're bending them so one fits in the other. And then they're like trying to get tape so they stay together. And they're creating like a 10-foot straw so they can reach the drawer and get a hit of the coke and the good stuff.
Can you imagine how hard you would have to...
Why you're fucked up.
Suck through your nose to suck cocaine through a 10-foot straw?
We don't know if it worked. She didn't know if it worked. I don't know if it worked. I have yet to question the family members. I mean, you'd have to really be good at holding your breath, I think.
That hurt a little bit.
Yeah. So she's like, yeah. And so that's the cocaine straw story. And I told her, as soon as she told me this story, I was like, I have to tell someone. I have to tell the podcast, but I don't want to incriminate anyone. But I have a huge fucking family on both sides, so good luck.
Yeah.
You got to narrow it down for like 200 people.
It's a lot of narrowing down.
So I'm like, that's really funny. And I might add, this woman is not a drug addict. No, she's clean. Her mom's dead, and the others are clean. Everybody's clean. So, and they've been clean.
It's just a wild time.
It was just a wild time period in their life. So that was one. That's the straw story. What you got next?
Next is rehab. How fitting.
Okay. Same family members.
I could have guessed that.
Actually, one of them has been now. One of the 2 family members is not there, but it's now the other family member is the same mom, the same family friend, and so. Okay, I got to word this real carefully. I'm trying not to incriminate.
Right. Take your time.
At one point when I was in high school, I was grounded from certain family members.
I could totally understand that.
Because my mom felt that they would get me in trouble.
Yeah.
It was probably because we charged about $400 on someone's phone bill illegally when we were in 6th grade. And I did know, but I didn't know. I was sixth grade. But they were the ringleaders, and I just went along with it. And then we weren't allowed to see each other for years.
Yeah.
And we also got caught smoking, and we were talking to 16-year-old boys when we were like 12. Like,
oh my goodness.
So we were not allowed to hang out anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we got grounded from each other. And that isn't even the direct relative, but it's part of that family, I guess. And anyway, so I didn't really see a lot of these cousins at that period because I wasn't allowed to. And so, whereas this family friend's mom, the one that provided her daughter and my cousins with Coke, she felt like she didn't like the this is the same time period as the cocaine story within a year, about a year later. Mm-hmm. She felt she did not like her daughter's boyfriend. And so she decided that the way to fix this was to send her daughter to this other city where my family members lived, and she was going to give them $5,000 to take care of her daughter for the summer and get her away from the boyfriend. She thought this was a good idea, and she kept referring to it as rehab. Now, granted, she was also away from her mom, which was her,
supplier.
Yeah. So
it's kind of like rehab.
Kinda. I'm grounded from these same cousins, ish, in the same group.
Cousins that she's sending her daughter to.
Yes. Okay. At the same time. Around the same time period. And so she goes there, and she said within the first 24 hours, the shit hit the fan. And she's at strip clubs. There's strippers everywhere. There's drugs everywhere. She's tripping on acid that they gave her and she had never had before.
Oh, no.
And she's freaking out, and she doesn't know anybody. And, she experienced a lot in 24 hours in this town. Mm-hmm. So she calls the very boyfriend that lives 5 hours away and says, come and get me. I'm going to die if I stay here any longer. Like, these people are effing crazy. I mean, you just gave them $5,000.
Yeah.
What do you think they used it for?
Yeah, not the right people to be given cash to.
No. She was talking about how one of my family members, and these family members at the time are in their early 20s, one of my family members gets in a fight with her boyfriend, and this is like 26, 27 years ago. Cell phones were not as prevalent back then. Yeah. And she had a cell phone that I think her boyfriend had given her, and she's driving on the highway arguing with him, and he's behind her, chasing her. This friend of the family's in the back seat at like 15, 16, on drugs, doesn't know what the fuck's going on. The family member throws her cell phone out the window and hits the front on purpose, the front windshield of the person, the boyfriend's car, breaks their window with the cell phone. Like, she throws it so hard. And
and cell phones were like bricks back then.
Yes. She was like, I had to go back. It was safer back at home with my supplier mom.
Talk about like being on Scared Straight or something like that.
Yes.
Like, oh my gosh, I got to get clean. I can't live like this.
It didn't necessarily work out quite like that, but yeah. So that's my rehab story. What's the next one? All these stories I have heard over the last few days. Like, this is not like things I just thought about from the past. I didn't know these stories till recently, like the last week. Go ahead, continue. What's next?
You were going to tell us about the time that you spent with your cousins, the crazy 24 hours or whatever that you spent with your cousins.
No, that was their 24 hours.
I know, but
what other 24 hours is there?
The times that you spent with your cousin and y'all were going to all these crazy places.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So when I was in my early 20s, I don't remember what we were there for, but we went, I do remember why. I can't repeat it. It gives it away.
Oh, wow.
And we were there for a funeral. So I go to the city for a family member's funeral.
Okay.
And my cousins are like, let's go out. And they all live there. I am so square. I don't drink. I don't smoke anything. I don't do any drugs. I had a longtime boyfriend who became my husband. I am boring as shit. I am so boring. And I'm like, okay, because all these cousins are going. Like, I have to go. There's a bunch of them, And so I go. And we end up in the craziest, we're in clubs, strip clubs. And you know what? It's not even close to the story that she just went through.
Yeah.
And I'm in my 20s and I'm overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. And everywhere we go, they're like famous. And so everywhere you go, like, they're like, everyone's so excited. Oh, you have a cousin. Oh my God. And I'm like, I don't want to be part of this. I know that my boyfriend's going to be pissed because he knows how wild my family is. And I mean, understandably, quite honestly, we were out. We didn't get home till like 6 a.m. and the funeral was at like 9 in the morning. And they were all fucked up. I was not, because, I was boring. For real. My bachelorette party, when I got married, my cousins all came in from Houston and from Dallas. I mean, not Dallas, from Austin and from San Antonio and from West Texas, all over Texas, thinking they were going to have a good time. No, we were not. I wasn't drinking. We weren't going to strip clubs. We did go to a club and dance for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
That was it. I'm boring. I'm still boring, really. Yeah. I mean, I do a lot of fun stuff, but I'm not like partying like that.
No, especially not in strip clubs. I've been to a strip club one time. Well, okay, that's kind of a lie. Well, so the one
I like how you just pause.
Okay, but there's different there's male strip clubs and then there's female strip clubs. Which is are there any strip clubs that are male and female?
Oh, you know what? I have been to a male strip club. I've never been to a female, but I have been to a male one time, but not to see the strip club, but because I used to date a guy that worked at one. Yeah. He was a stripper.
Yeah.
But after I dated him, and he asked me to run up and get something from him years later, he had something of mine, and he said, I got it with me at work. Come and grab it. And he worked at fucking La Bear, and I went and grabbed it, and I left. Yeah. He had something from years before. He just thought it was funny. He found it. But it's the only strip club I've ever been to. I just don't have a desire.
Well, see, I went the first time I ever went to a strip club. I had never been to a strip club before. And then I went because the people that I worked with at the time, we had this little after party after we all got off work, and then all the guys wanted to go to the strip club. Well, they were all drunk. I was the only person that was not drinking. And so they sweet talked me. They're like, we'll pay for everything. We'll pay for gas. We'll give you some money.
Well, what kind of place were you working where y'all were going to strip clubs?
I worked at Target. This is when I was going to college.
They don't even have strip club money. What are they doing?
I don't know.
They want coupons?
They wanted to go to the strip club. So I was like, fine, I'll try.
Because I worked in the car industry for a while when I sold cars when I was in my 20s, and they were always going for lunch at the strip club.
Yeah.
But come on, Zada. I was like, dude, I do not want to see you with a heart on. That is disgusting.
Definitely not want that.
I don't have a problem with the strippers. It's you I don't want to fucking deal with.
I did not want to go, but they were going to go anyways, and they were drunk, and so I was like, fine, I'll drive you. But so we go, and I'm just trying to like melt into the back because first of all, I had never been to a strip club before, so I was a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And second of all, like I'm not interested. I'm straight, so I didn't like. I don't want the girls.
Yeah.
But
that's a note for another conversation.
I end up getting dragged up on stage though because one of the strippers liked me, and she drags me up on stage. So I'm up on stage and I'm like, I don't want to be up here. I'm not getting paid.
No, that is so against your personality.
And anyway, so she finally realizes, okay, so she's
not
uncomfortable.
down with this.
She doesn't care. She's not interested in me. So fine. So she's like, goes to give me a hug, like, oh, you were a good sport. Like, thanks, or whatever. Yeah. So as she gives me a hug, she reaches down and pulls up the back of my dress and flashes my ass to
all the
front row that my coworkers that I go to work with. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you bitch.
Yeah.
That wasn't the best day back at work the next day. So that was not a good experience for me. I never wanted to go back to another strip club. And I didn't until then. I was living with one of my best friends at the time, and she was a cocktail. Well, no, she was a waitress, not a waitress, but a bartender. I couldn't think of the word. She was a bartender at a strip club. So I went to her bar one time when she was working because she wanted me to come up there. So I was like, fine.
Is this the roommate that I know their older cousin?
I think so.
Oh my God, she would lose her mind. The cousin would. But
so I went up to the bar to hang out with her because she was working. She's like, come see her work. So I wanted to see her work. So I was just hanging out for a while. And then a girl that worked with her, I guess, liked me. And so she bought me a lap dance from her. And I'm like,
yeah, you don't want that.
Why is this happening to me right now? Like, I understand that, like, some people might, like, she was a beautiful girl. Like,
yeah, we're not yucking other people's yums, as you put it.
Yeah,
but
I mean, nothing
it's not
against
your
this girl,
yum.
but okay. Well, I don't know what to do with. I don't know what to do at all. So both experiences were just not. I was the wrong person for that. Yeah. Wrong person for that. It was a wasted experience because I got nothing out of it.
Yeah.
But still.
But you have a strip club story.
Yeah, I mean, I do.
So there's that.
Yeah, that's true.
I know.
And I have been to a male strip club one time. Well, it wasn't like they didn't go nude there. It was just one of the bars that they dance at, where they just dance and take off their clothes and like kind of like a LeBare's.
Yeah.
I don't even know. It might have been LeBare's, but I don't think it was. I can't remember. I was really drunk. So it wasn't my idea to go.
It was probably my ex-boyfriend dancing for you.
I didn't even want to go. And honestly, I don't remember much of it because I ended up just going outside because I was like,
I'm not interested.
I'm not interested.
It's just not my thing.
It isn't to me either because I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh yeah, I don't want it. And that body type doesn't even appeal to me.
Yeah.
I don't like fit guys.
Yeah.
Like I don't have anything against them. Like I'm not like, ew, that looks gross.
I don't like a dad bod.
But like none of them had dad bod. I want to rub somebody's belly. I didn't want to. That's not. It did nothing for me.
Yeah, I feel you. So they don't have dad bod dancers. They should.
I know.
Brilliant.
I would probably go to a dad bod
most people would.
strip bar.
There you go.
Give me a bearded man with a little bit of a belly and say no more.
Yeah.
You can have all my money.
That's so funny.
But then again, I have that at home, so I was like, maybe not.
But
it would be more fun though. It would be more entertaining though. That's what I'm saying. I would actually be entertained by that.
Would Dante dance for you if you asked him?
He does.
Okay, good, Dante. Rick would be upset with I ever said he did, but let's just say he might.
He might.
He's pretty. He does entertaining.
Yeah, I have to tell Dante to stop.
Do you really?
Okay, stop. That's enough.
I fucking love Dante. I do. That's so funny. I love him.
He's a
I have a different family member on the other side of my family that was a dancer. I have a few family members that were dancers, and this particular one was the feature dancer at a very big club in a very large city.
Wow.
Back in the day. We got some pretty girls in the family. And her dad was driving down the highway and saw her ad on the billboard.
And that's how they figured out?
They had heard rumors, but like everyone was denying it, and he wrecked his truck.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Kid you not? Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And then went up there, and they wouldn't let him in because he was losing his shit.
Right?
Yeah.
No, sir. You can't come in here.
Yeah. I had a lot of friends back in the day when I was young that danced, and a lot of friends that danced. And they would hang out there and they're like, come on. I was like, it's just not my thing. I mean, I love you. I don't judge it. It's just not my thing. Come over. I'll make you some
Honestly,
lasagna.
I mean, I love being naked.
Right.
I love being naked.
But you just don't want to show everybody else. And I don't want to see everybody else.
Like, I don't know what it is. I just don't have the connection.
And I don't think women are attracted necessarily. Now, some women are, obviously. But for the most part, I don't think women, it's about physical attributes as much as it about personality and other aspects. I mean, yeah, you got to find someone attractive. But, like, women don't just sit there and be like, I wonder what that man looks like naked. Like, that's not really a thing.
Nope.
So, no. And I certainly don't think, I wonder what that woman looks like naked.
No, you have to be a certain person in my mind before I start thinking about those kinds of things.
Yeah.
It's not just a random, ooh, yeah.
I might make a joke, but no, I agree.
Yeah. For me to start fantasizing about you, there has to be something already there for me with you.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't just randomly start fantasizing about different people unless you're somebody that has sparked an interest in me, and then I start fantasizing about you.
Yeah. I think that's a woman thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, most women. All right, what's the next one? What we got?
Mug.
Oh, my God. Hopefully Zoe doesn't listen to this podcast.
I think she's going to because we told her to.
We did? Oh, damn it. I'm going to discourage it. Okay, listen. We unpacked all her stuff. And in the process of unpacking all of her stuff, she has a lot of mugs. I'm a mug collector, and for Christmas, I get all the kids a mug every year, and you get a special mug that I see and I think of you. It's a thing we've done for years. So we have a lot of fucking mugs. So we have this ongoing joke that I could open a coffee shop, and I wouldn't have to buy a single mug. I got a lot of mugs.
So true.
And so Zoe brings all her mugs, and in her mugs is this one mug that she really loves. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. So yesterday morning, I get a text from Zoe, and he's like, my youngest, and he's like, I broke one of Zoe's mugs when I was washing it. I'm afraid to tell her. She's going to be so mad. I said, it's okay. Hide the evidence. I'll tell her I did it. Okay? We're going to just say I did it. Okay? And because she will be mad. And he was like, okay. And I said, send me a picture of the mug, though, so I know what mug it is. And she sends a picture of my mug. Oh, my God, of all the mugs.
It's the favorite.
It is.
Oh, no.
And I have 2 favorite mugs that were my mom's. And like anytime anyone uses them, I lose my shit on them. I'm like, you got 3,000 fucking mugs. Don't use this one, you know? And this is kind of that mug for her.
Oh, no.
And so I'm like, oh my God, this is a problem. I said, okay, text me back. You cannot tell her. Don't even tell her I did it. We're just going to keep this on the down low. We're going to figure something out.
We're covering this up.
If it comes out, it was me that did it. But yeah. So he was like, okay, I'm teaching my kid.
How bad did he break it? Like not fixable?
Yeah, it was an accident, but still, she's not going to care. It's special to her.
Oh, yeah.
So last night I'm talking to my older son, and the mug is a Christmas gift of her favorite bartender / friend in Austin. And if you go in her bedroom now, she has a massive painting of this same guy that he gave her for Christmas. And they're just friends. He's married, like he's older. He's like my age. He's just awesome. He's a very nice person. I've met him. And so she has a picture, a painting, a large painting of this man in her room, like, because it's funny.
This is very interesting.
And this is a mug. He gave it to her and my son as a Christmas gift, thinking it's funny, and it is funny. And they had it hanging in their group apartment, and then whenever they moved out, Zoe took it, and it's in her bedroom. So the mug is the same picture on a mug, and I don't remember what it says, but it says something he says all the time, like, you know, saying he says on the bottom of it. And he gave them to everybody as Christmas gifts. That's the mug.
Oh, no.
So I tell... So last time on the phone with Zane for a long time, and I tell Zane about the mug, and he was like, oh my God, yeah, you can't tell her. She's going to freak out. And he goes, but I can get another one.
We're going to replace the mug.
I'll go to Frapp, that's his name. I'll go to Frapp, that's his name, and I'll get a replacement mug. And I was like, perfect. He goes, but we're going to get the replacement mug, and then I'm going to drink some coffee in it, okay? And then I'm going to sit it on the counter for like a week. And then I'm going to come visit you.
This is like deep deception here.
Yes. I'm going to come visit you, and I'm going to put it in the sink. And at this point, she might have asked for the mug, and you're going to be like, I don't know where it is. That's
Must
so
be
weird.
in a room somewhere.
Must be in someone's bedroom.
Yeah.
You know? And then he goes, I'm going to make sure the coffee's like kind of like staining the bottom. Like you got to really wash it so it looks believable. It's been in someone's room.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to put it in the sink, and y'all need to make sure you don't wash it. You leave it for her to wash.
Yeah.
And then when she finds it, you say, oh my God, where has that been? And then no one knows where it's been, but it's back and it's okay.
See, y'all, this is next level.
And Zoe gets to live another day.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we got to discourage her from listening to this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to tell her my stripper story.
Yeah, definitely. So,
because that's why we told her to listen. Because I was like, you tell this story and I'll tell my strip club story. She's like, what's your strip club story? I'm like,
yeah. So Zane thought it was hilarious that we were planning this, and he is all in. And so that's, that's the story.
So your next one, you wrote gay.
Yeah. Okay. This is also a good one.
These are all such good ones.
This one kind of has to do with both of us. In fact, it has to do with the podcast. Surprise.
I love it.
So, we get these ad requests, right? Mm-hmm. So I get an ad request for another podcast, and it is called Everybody's Gay in Montana. No, wait, Nobody's Gay in Montana.
Nobody. We went from everybody to nobody real quick.
It's called Nobody's Gay in Montana, and it's 2 husbands, and they've done that are from Montana, and they were best friends, straight best friends, and they became roommates, and then surprise, surprise, they're now married. Mm-hmm. Turns out they were gay. You can imagine in Montana, it's probably hard to come out.
Yeah.
And so the whole podcast is about living in Montana being gay. And it's just really cute and funny. But they popped up as a possible ad option.
Yeah.
And see, the way that these ad options work is it used to be that like they pay for their ads and then the person it runs on their podcast approved them or didn't approve them. But they've changed it recently. So now we have to approve them, but then they decide, yes, I do want this person.
Yeah.
I want to be on that pod. That's my people. So I accepted it thinking they're not going to pick us because if you read our thing, you're not going to be like, oh, we know they're going to be like gay friendly because you wouldn't really know that. Like we are, but they wouldn't really know that.
It doesn't give away yes or no in our bio or anything about it.
No, nothing like that. And so, but they picked us like immediately.
Yay.
And the funny thing is that when you go and you look us up on any of these, on any like Spotify or Apple or whatever, while the ad is running, there will be like a little like tag on the bottom that you don't know it's an advertiser like thing. It just looks like it's part of the thing. And all it says is nobody's gay in Montana at the end of our descriptions.
Yeah. I love that.
So I didn't even know they had accepted it yet. And I just happened to look at our thing and I was like, oh my God, they picked us.
They picked us.
And now in all our descriptions that the ad's running on, it says nobody's gay in Montana, which I also found funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And so if anyone sees that is absolutely why that's on there. And I find it hilarious. I was like, that's so funny. And y'all should listen to it. Because I actually, on my way home, I was like, I'm going to listen. Usually if I agree to a podcast, I like to listen to it. Either before I agree to it or if I read the description, I'm like, yeah, I think this fits us and I want to beat other people to it. I'll just accept it. Well, I listened to it on my way home from work and it was great. It was so cute. They were great. I mean, they're still warming up. They're still learning, but they were doing great.
That's
and
awesome.
So, yeah. So that's my gay.
That.
I know.
That's my gay.
That's my, I got another funny gay story actually. So I have this friend and I'm trying to think how I can word this carefully as well. I don't like to give away too much information on some things. Yeah. Anyways, I have a friend that's gay. That's a lesbian. And this friend, we always send each other funny gay memes, even though I'm not gay, but I see a lot, I'm an ally, so I get a lot of funny shit, And so, the other day I, bought these, I went to Mod Pizza for lunch and Mod Pizza always does like a special cupcake of the month. So like Halloween, it might be pumpkin flavored. They do ho-hos basically. And they call them no-name cupcakes because they can't say ho-ho. And it's just basically a ho-ho. You know what a ho-ho is, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but they do a special flavor also each month. So there might be a Valentine one. There might be a, whatever. Well, they have a Pride one this time. And so I go, did I tell the story already? Damn it. Okay. So I bring her back her cupcake and she tells me her little Skittles. Damn it. She brings her little Skittles thing, and we're laughing about the little story. And so then a few days later, I'm telling her the story about a family member of mine. And I'm like, oh yeah. And yeah, she would always wear a button up, a pearl snap. And this is talking about a family member who's been dead for 40 years. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, she would always wear a pearl snap shirt and Wranglers. And like, I'm describing this member of my family to her and she's just staring at me. And I get to the whole story. She was like, so she's a lesbian? I was like, no. Why would you say that? Zada. She's wearing pearl snap, button-up shirts, Wranglers, a belt buckle, tucked in, boots, and a cowboy hat at all times. I mean, you know what era that was? That's not really how that worked. I was like, oh my God. I don't know that they were. But yeah. I thought that's really funny. I thought, okay, I see where you're going with that. She was like, I mean, of all people, you should know. You have a pretty good gaydar. I was like, I do have a good gaydar, but that one missed me. I don't know if she really is or not. She was like, she is.
Take it from me.
Just trust me on this. Just trust me on that. Like, all right. So that's my gay stories. We got anything else? Was that all my text to you?
That was all the text, yeah.
I think that was plenty.
We're all caught up on the text.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what we're going to call this one. Text from Zada? I don't know. I don't know. I will say I tried something new that I sent you the text about. That I always will read like things and about the podcast, like what can make your podcast better, or whatever the case is. And one of the things is the keywords that you use in the description and the keywords that you use in the title. So if the title, you want to use things that will pop up in the algorithm of podcast. So if you're talking about relationships, you want to throw the word relationship in there. Like if that's what your podcast is about, even if that episode's not necessarily geared towards a relationship, it just keeps you in the algorithm so people find you. You know what I mean? Okay. And both in the title and in the description. And so I was like, oh, okay, noted. Well, then I read this other thing in this whole article about how older podcasts, like the ones you do originally, kind of get lost in the shuffle because people typically either listen to the very first ones or the most recent ones. But the ones in the middle typically kind of get lost, And so they were like, so what you should do is once every few months, you should go to those old podcasts and put 1 or 2 keywords in there. And it will typically get people listening again because they'll kind of pop back up on the algorithm. And I was like, okay. So this week I did do that with the first few of our episodes. I actually started at the beginning though, only so that I could keep an eye on if it works.
Yeah.
I was just trying to find a gauge, you know what I mean? But you're the person that comes up with everything. Like I talk, but you do all the like creative aspect as far as that's concerned. And I'm not good at it. I'm not. Like this is definitely your forte. And so
I'm not even good at it.
So then I'm like, what is a key word?
What's a key word?
And we did these podcasts like 2 years ago, so I don't even remember the full, you know me. I don't remember what the fuck I said 10 minutes ago. I just repeated a story from last week. I don't know. I talk a fucking lot, And so then I'm like, I don't know what this was about. So I'm just like making up one sentence and I'm throwing in a key word or two that I can. So should you read through these descriptions and you're like, what the fuck does that mean? That is why it looks a little bit random.
Interesting.
So I'm watching it to see.
Maybe we should just like at the end of it, because we have the description. So then just keywords. At the end, just kind of like parentheses, I guess, like keywords.
Yeah, we could try that.
Where it's not really even like a sentence, it's just a bunch of keywords.
Yeah.
Kind of like hashtags.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly right there.
I like it.
So for us, you know what? We should ask listeners to message us and tell us what would you use as a keyword to get for people to listen to us, And I will, we don't really push it like we pushed it when we first started because we kind of got a good core group.
Yeah.
But I would ask our listeners to share, especially if you made it through this last hour. If you listen till the end.
If you're still here,
well,
congratulations.
I listen to podcasts and stuff, and I don't always make it through the whole thing.
That's very true.
And I listen to all our podcasts. I remember what the hell I talked about, and then kind of critique myself. And it sometimes takes me 2 or 3 days to make it through the whole thing. I listen 20 minutes here, 10 minutes there, whatever the case is. I also cuss a lot, so I don't like to listen in front of the kids a lot. And although I cuss a lot in front of them, but but also I tell stories I don't necessarily want them to hear.
Yeah.
And I tell stories I don't think Rick wants to hear sometimes. And so I just try to listen to it by myself. And although the other day Zoe, can you turn that up? That's really funny. He was laughing at my podcast. I listen to it when I'm cooking if no one's like hanging out. Anyways, listeners would know better than anyone, especially listeners that have listened this far. So if you have an idea of keywords that might help get people to listen, but also, y'all listen, like, and share. Because it really does help us.
Yeah, it does.
And it makes us feel good. So if you do want to do that, then I am ZMamacita on Instagram. I am currently set to private. There's a long story reason why. It might have something to do with a lawsuit. Not anything I did. They just told me to make all my stuff private until we're done. Like I didn't do anything. Okay. And but
I don't want to know. I'm so interested.
You know it when I tell you about it. It's not exciting at all. And anyway, so
everybody's gonna be like, "What? Tell us!"
But you have to friend request me to follow me on Instagram, basically, and that's fine. I'll let you. Yeah, that's awesome. And so it's ZMamacita, and on Instagram, and you are.
I'm Kelly Lady Pearl on Instagram,
and Zada Owens on Facebook.
And I don't have a Facebook. Sorry.
And we're Two Sides in the Truth on Instagram and on Facebook. But I really kind of suck at keeping up with our things. I just feel like I just like to post like my.
I know. I suck at it too, and I don't even like to post about my life. So like I get nothing.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, about that. But we're working on it, okay?
I say I'm going to get better. Do I? Probably no, not really. But you know what? I'm going to try. I'm really going to try, especially like after summer.
Once summer's over for her. Whereas I'm in my peak season.
I'm going to die this summer. I swear I'm going to be a different person after summer. I'm going to get my life together. I'm going to find God because I lost him. And I'm going to...
This is perfect.
I'm going to lose 20 pounds. And I'm going to...
Summer is my peak season. And so this works out perfect because I'll be dying down around the time that you start peaking.
Okay.
So you'll have all the stories. And I'll be like, I baked some bread.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty good at it. Whatever.
Right.
All right, well then, I guess
Oh,
we're
one
caught
random thing. Okay, so I used Dante's Jeep the other day because my car was in the shop and I was cleaning it out because he just got the Jeep back too because he had some work done on it. So it was kind of clean, but I wanted to clean it out, and so I was cleaning it out because his son uses the Jeep all the time. His son drives the Jeep. Oh. So I'm like cleaning underneath the seats, getting all this stuff out. Anything that was his, I was just throwing in the back. Underneath the seat, I find handcuffs.
that you now have presented to me.
And I'm like, yeah, I have them. So I was like, why are there handcuffs in the Jeep? Why does he have handcuffs? And then I'm like, mine? So now they're my handcuffs.
But you have a key. If it had a key, you don't need to use the handcuffs. I mean, unless you want to really lock someone up.
It's just, we're going to play. They're mine.
Good answer. Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
All right, that's it. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us. Maybe come back next week and bring a friend.
Yeah. And remember, there's always 3 sides to every story.
2 sides and the truth.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.